In this video, we are going to see how to add Google Forms submissions to BooCafe as customer. So let's say you're using Google Forms and as a form builder application, and here you want that every time there's a new submission, so this particular lead should be added as a customer on BooCafe, which is a scheduling software. Now you can do this by integrating these two applications, and the same can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here your trigger application would be Google Forms and your action application would be BooCafe. Now how can you do this yourself and integrate and automate this entire process? To understand that, let me take you to my screen. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we click on enter, it will take us to the landing page of this software. Here on the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you are an existing user, simply sign in. If you are a new user, then you can sign up for free. Here, at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. Now, since I'm an existing user, I'm simply going to click on sign in, and it will take me to the all applications page. Now, here, since we are doing this integration using Pabbly Connect software, let's click on Access Now, and then we will reach the dashboard of this application. So here on the right hand side, you can see Create Workflow. Let's click on this, and a dialog box appears which is asking us to name our workflow. So here I wish that every time there is a Google Forms submission, a customer should be created on BooCafe. So I'm going to name my workflow as add Google Forms submissions to BooCafe customer. Let's click on create here. So once done, we have reached another window where you can see two very important events, trigger and actions. Triggers and actions are those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens and action is do this. Basically, action is the response of your trigger. Now here my trigger application will be Google Form, and let's click on this. Once done, we have to choose the trigger event. Here it would be new response received. Once done, here we have received a webhook URL, and I'm going to copy this down. This is going to basically act as a bridge between the two applications, Google Forms and Pabbly Connect, and it will connect them. Now here, what we are going to do is we are going to go to our Google Forms account, and I've already created a Google Form here. So this is my new registration form, and here I have the following fields: first name, last name, email address, phone number and location. Now if I take you back to Pabbly Connect, here you can see that Google Forms responses are collected in Google Sheets, and also it is saying that you have to make your last question as required for trigger. So going back here, this last field, which is location, I have to toggle this to the right hand side so that this is required, which means that every time this form is filled, the moment this last field is filled, the response will be collected on Google Sheets. So now if I go up and to the responses, here you can see a Google Sheet icon. Let's click on this. As soon as you do that, here you can see that a sheet has been created with the same column fields and one extra, which is timestamp. So this timestamp is going to generate the exact time of the recorded data. Now, if I take you back to Pabbly Connect, so here what do we have to do? We have to switch to response tab and click on create spreadsheet icon. So we have done this, and now we have to navigate to add-ons and get add-ons. So I'm going to go back to the sheet that I have created, go to extensions, and then we are going to go to add-ons. Basically here we are connecting this Google Sheet with Pabbly Connect. So if I go to add-ons, here we have get add-ons. And now this particular window, we have to look for an application which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Let's click on this. And here you can see that this particular application has already been installed in my system. If it isn't there installed in your system, so don't worry, it will not take more than 2 minutes. And once you have installed, we are going to put a cross over here and then again go to extensions, and here you would be able to see Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Here you have to go to initial setup. Once we are here, you can see that it has automatically selected the name of the sheet, and here it is asking me for the webhook URL. Going back to Pabbly Connect, I'm going to copy this URL, go to the sheet and paste it over here. And then we have to write the trigger column. Trigger column is basically the final data column on which our data is added. Here it is column number F. So I'm going to write it and then click on submit. As soon as I do that, here you can see that the setup has been configured successfully. Now I'm again going to close this, go back to extension, go back to Pabbly Connect webhooks, and this time I'm going to click on send on event, which means that every time there is a new response, it should be able to collect it. Going back to Pabbly Connect, here I'm going to click on waiting for webhook response. Why? Because to understand if the connection has been set up, we have to do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. Now, when I go back to my form, here I'm going to click on preview and I'm going to fill this form. So let's say the name here is test user 123 and the name is, last name is name. Then we have the email address, which is test@pabblytuts.com. And then we have the phone number, which is 9. And then here we have the location. Let's say the location is Bhopal. I'm going to click on submit. So as soon as we have done that, going back to our Google Sheet here, you can see that we have received the response, which basically means that Pabbly Connect and Google Forms are now connected. Going back to Pabbly Connect, here you can see that we have received the response. So we have the timestamp, first name, last name, email address, phone number and location, and also the name of our spreadsheet. Now we want that with this information, a Bookcafe customer should be created. So here my next application will be Bookcafe, and here the action event would be to create a customer. Let's click on connect. And here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Bookcafe account. For this, we are going to click on add new connection, and to set up this connection, we need the API key and the booking page. Now for this API key, you will have to log in to your Bookcafe account. So I'm going to click on this hyperlink. I've already logged in to my Bookcafe account. Now here you can see this wheel. So we are going to click on this wheel and go to settings. Here on the left hand side, you can see integrations. Let's click on this. And then at last you can see API. I'm going to click on this, and this is my API key. Let's quickly copy this, go back to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. Then here we have to see the booking page. Now booking page URL is, again, if I take you back to Bookcafe. So here I'm going to quickly copy this. Go back to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. This is my booking page. I'm just going to remove this part. So this is my booking page. Let's click on save to set up this connection. And here you can see that these two applications are now connected. Here you need to map the data. Mapping basically means that you have already received this information in your previous steps and you are just going to retrieve it. So let's click on this, go to our first step, and this is the first name. And let's say that I also need the last name. So this is the complete name, the email address. So let's click on this, and here we have the email address. So once we have received this, I'm going to click on save and send test request. As soon as we have done that, we have received the API response over, and here you can see that the response customer was created at this time. This is the email address and this is the name. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back to Bookcafe, and here these are the customers. If I refresh the page, so these are your customers basically. If I refresh the page, here you can see test user 123 name. This is the user that we have recently created. If I click on this, here is the name and here is the email address. So basically this means that this entire integration process is a complete success, but we also need to check it in real time. So I'm again going to go back to my registration page and submit another response. This time the first name is new user 12. The last name here is Pabbly. Then we have the email address as new user at pabblytuts.com, and here we have the phone number, which is 9, and the location here, let's say, is random city. And now I'm going to click on submit. So as soon as this is done, what should happen? I should be able to create a new customer on my BooCafe account. So I'm going to take you back to BooCafe, and here I'm going to refresh this page once again. And here you can see that yes, we have created this new user 12. This is the name and this is the email address. I hope this is very much clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, then we are going to go back to Pabbly Connect and understand this entire process once again. This was an extremely easy two-step integration process where our trigger application was Google Forms, the trigger event was new response received, action application was BooCafe, and the action event was create customer. So again, apart from this, if you have any doubt, you can always refer to the workflow. It is there in the description box. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. And apart from this, if you have any other suggestion or advice, you can always write to us. I hope this was helpful. To watch more such videos, you can always subscribe to our channel, which is there on YouTube. If you have any queries, you can write to us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you want to know our pricing plans, then you can visit us at this particular site. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe if you have liked this video.